Hyderabad, we have the AI panel. And whenever we do events in different cities, we customize one sector-focused panel to that city. So when we did it in Delhi, we had a D2C panel. And in Hyderabad, given this positioning itself to be the AI capital of India, I'm here very curious to understand from all of you that what you are doing in the AI space. So I think it will be worth the while to have like introduction from each one of you, especially on the product side, introducing your company, your background, and what exactly you are building, and then we'll take it further from there. Yes, sir, we'll start from you.
Hi, this is Raj Samala here. I'm from Pushpak.ai. So in AI, you have got data, then you have voice. We work on the video part. So video and the images. So we do analytics on videos and images. It's a 2.5-year-old company, and we specialize in terms of multiple areas and sector. One of the largest sector being the intelligent traffic management system, but we have pivoted towards generative AI, where now we do a lot of data extraction out of documents and things like that. So it's a long shot.
Thanks. What about you? Yeah.
My name is Harish, and I'm representing SarvM. So SarvM is a Sanskrit word which means everyone. And our vision is to provide technology to nano businesses. Something like a small hawker or a small shop. Now when we talk about AI, it's mostly people are focusing on the either for the D2C kind, direct to customer kind of thing, or for the enterprises, because the affordability is not there. So we believe that the technology can be made affordable to very, very small businesses. And that's where we are automating their day-to-day life. So just to give example, if you have to do a billing, a bigger store will have a scanner and automatically you can add the item. But if you think of a small hawker, he can't open a phone and click, click, click and do things. So to automate his life, he can just speak with the system like, आधा किलो टमाटर, 2 kg बंद गए, or two bunch of patagura, and that will be converted into bill, and bill is done. And that's the one of the few use cases. So where we are just digitizing them for online, offline, all this at one place. And one of the bigger thing is in this space is a lot of people have tried it and not able to do it because it's a very peculiar space. The people are very, very different. So unless you think and make it affordable, and that's where we are trying to do AI, which is 7x faster than any of other players. And we are now working on an AI on device. So Alexa or Siri doesn't work if internet is not there. We want to make it on device. So the repetitive cases can be done on that. So that's what we're doing.
So can you just sort of give me an example? I did not quite understand. So if I go on Swiggy.
Not Swiggy. So you go to a thela wala and he wants to do a billing for him. So he will just speak. आधा किलो टमाटर 40 रुपए का भिंडी एक
he will speak and that will convert
automatically bill बन जाएगा.
Oh, very nice.
And he will say like Shrija, अगर श्रीजा के नाम से जानता है या फिर he remembers you like B1401. So he will say B1401 bill B140. So your number is already saved and you get a WhatsApp for that bill.
So, but this is a retail business. This is a consumer business.
Everything is there. We provide a mini ERP to them in which they can do CRM. So if they have to do like a promote, they have a avocado and they want to promote avocado, they can just say कि avocado पे promotion है, और वो automatically that send a message to all the people who are generally buy avocados, and then they will be getting a notification or a message from them.
Nice. We'll dwell more on the business model. I'll come to you now.
It's a pure SaaS. We are not charging any commission. And we are providing online, offline, everything at one place.
So how do you make money?
Subscription.
Subscription.
Pure SaaS.
So, and who are your clients?
The small thela wala to the superstore.
And how much do you charge them?
30 rupees per day, which is less than what they spend on tea or coffee.
No, so but then if you have to become a large business, you have to scale it to like say 20 lakh, 30 lakh hawkers to use it for you.
Even the unit economics works this way. You can be profitable with even the 10,000 sellers on the platform. And we have a basic pro premium, which is a different tier for different size of business.
So why would you not do it with, say, like a big bazaar or a big departmental store?
That's what I was telling you. Everyone wants to do the things for them. Nobody wants to touch these people. And that's the huge space because there are 4.5 crore nano businesses are in India.
And have you raised funding?
We are right now angel funded. We are in the process of raising funds.
And how big that round would be?
1 to 10 million, depending on what we get.
Okay. Yeah, Saurabh.
Hi, everyone. So Saurabh, third-time entrepreneur, sold last 2 companies back in 2013 and 16. So we started VeriSmart.ai back in 2018, and we started as a RegTech company, as a regulatory tech company. And while we were solving the automation processes for banks, telecoms, and almost all different kind of regulated institutions, we realized that the bigger problem is around the opacity of data bad quality in the entire infrastructure layer, and where different data silos are not able to interact with each other. So we end up creating a complete digital data infrastructure which help large organizations to have interoperability of data, and then multiple use cases can be built on top of it as a decentralized apps, and that's what we have created. So we cater to almost like 500 million people already with the 60 plus large organization, which practically are banks, telecoms, e-commerce brand, OTA, OTT platforms, and similarly more. So that is, we are solving a problem around digital data infrastructure where data without without compromising anything on the data privacy side of it, how this can be leveraged.
I didn't understand anything. These were all big words. Can you explain to me in plain English, what do you do? Like, if I come to you, you said interoperability, optimization and all that. Can you just tell me in simple English, one sentence, what you do? So what is your service?
So we are democratizing the data intelligence, where different data at a different organization does not interact with each other because of the data privacy guidelines. We have created a framework and infrastructure where they can do this without infringing user privacy.
Give me an example. I run a media company. What help can you provide me?
So let's say you're a brand, you're a D2C brand who wants to, you already have a definition of your user persona, or what kind of a user persona fits into your for a particular SKU itself. So let's say you define that digital persona in a form of a Gen AI query over the platform, and this platform, the query would run across all the data sources. Without them sharing that data with you, they can actually have the audience discovery being made possible. So it's like, you can put it in the simple words, it's a decentralized Google Ads. So in Google owns the entire data. Here, the respective organization owns their respective data, and they need not share with each other. So this is a decentralized world. This is, in a simplest way, we are the platform behind DigiYatra, if that helps.
Okay, so say that. Yeah. Maybe you could have begun the conversation saying that we are the platform behind DigiYatra.
Yeah.
Great. So they're your clients, your biggest client right now.
So we started the digital travel ID, and that's how it ended up to become a government partnership itself.
But does the government pay you, or it's free, it's barter?
Cannot comment on camera, sorry.
Okay. And are you making money? Do you have revenues?
Yes,
or
we did last year $29 million gross revenue.
Okay. And are you looking to raise funding?
Yes, we will be, but we are profitable from last 3 years as well.
And who are your clients typically? All
large
the brands?
Enterprises,
large
banks, telecoms, e-commerce brands, logistic companies, so some large organizations.
And how are you using AI in building your product?
See, when we talk about data standardization, data quality, so there's a different metrics on how you assess your data in terms of measurement, in terms of sampling, in terms of algorithmic values and everything. So all of that are being clubbed together, and for that AI become the default use case or default technology to solve for it.
So $29 million in revenues in last 3 years.
No, that's last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Wow. And what is your expectation for this year? And is it all B2B business?
Yes, this is all B2B. This is all B2B.
So this year you will touch 100 million?
Sorry, again, cannot quote that on camera unless until we are not going for fundraising.
Okay, which you are. You said you're going for a fundraising. You're going for a larger
We are
round.
going for fundraising. I have not disclosed the round size. I have not disclosed anything else.
Being so conscious. Yes, we'll come to you, sir. So can you tell a little about yourself and your company? Yeah.
Sure. My name is Monu Mahali and I'm representing SmartBot. So SmartBot is a chatbot-based platform. So chatbot, as you know, that it is nowadays very common. You can see it in any of the websites, right? It can be also integrated with social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. So it's a B2B company. So some of our few clients are from like Mahindra Logistics, DP World, Saint Gobain, and there are few companies like not companies, but like we have also tied up with government sectors like PCMC and Gujarat Tourism and all. So this is what.
So how big is your organization, SmartBot?
When I joined SmartBot, there were 5 people. We were operating from one room of our co-founder. So after that, after I joined, after 1 year, it got acquired from a company, Bytewire Solutions. So now we are like 30 people located in Banjara Hills.
Okay, and what are the revenues like for the company?
So I'm not into much, I don't know much numbers around those things, those figures, so I will not be able to comment on that.
And how big is your client base? You said Mahindra, and also what is the solution that you're providing from SmartBot?
Sure.
So basically you provide chatbot services to large brands.
It's not only large brands, I just took a few names, but it is like anybody, any startup, any MSMEs, whatever it is, if they are having website or they have any business using Facebook pages or WhatsApp, right? So they can integrate a chatbot so that the chatbot will be able to understand the queries of the customers for that business, and then it will be able to provide correct answers to those. So that like we train the chatbots on the knowledge base of that specific client.
Okay, and that is how you're using AI?
Yeah.
It's a personalized chatbot?
Yeah.
Okay, and you said that you started the company from the room of your co-founder, 5 people, and you got bought by in 1 year. So it was an acqui-hire?
So it was earlier also, like after I joined, it like after 1 year I joined, it got acquired.
Okay, you got acquired by a large company?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I understood sort of your model is catering to Kiranas. Can you tell a little about your business model exactly? Yes.
It depends upon what use case we are looking at. The recent launch that we did about 6 months back, which is into document AI, where we use computer vision technology to extract data, where typically you have companies using OCR, where it fails, and that's when we step in. So there you have a business model where it's number of documents that you process and what kind of a data you process, and then it's just not data processing, and then you're putting intelligence on the data. So that's a different separate model. We love to be a SaaS, but because you're dealing with individual companies' data, they don't want it to get out of, say, their premises. So you have to do it in premise. Then apart from that, the typical computer vision, we have our own. So we spent almost about 1.5 years doing a lot of R&D because what we understood in this particular space, the ROI or the cost of implementation is very high because we deal with video and it's very heavy data. So you require a lot of GPU and all. And when you talk GPU, it costs a lot. So even for a simple use case, it is expensive. So we worked about to take this in collaboration with NVIDIA to bring down all these algorithm models and all, that it will work on the edge devices. So that's what we are implementing now with multiple organizations. And there it's a licensing model per camera, per use case, how it works out.
Interesting. It's a pretty interesting model. So who are your clients typically? When you say document AI, so pretty much every company which has large amounts of documentation becomes your client. It could be hospitals, it could be banks, offices, all of them, right?
It's a large landscape, especially where you have complex data. And when I say complex documents, and when I say document, these are not digital documents, these are images. So you imagine that you have an Excel you can extract the data. Even a kid can do it. There are so many tools available. But the same Excel, somebody has taken a picture, sends it to you. You can use even ChatGPT saying that I'm able to extract the data. But in all formats, it does not come when you have tables inside tables and all. So from a landscape, yes, right from a hospital to an engineering company to any organization, it is applicable. So that's the space that we are in the document AI. Whereas computer vision, where we use effectively in terms of safety and security, where there's a lot of monitoring required, where you have large factories, they want to monitor people movement, their infrastructure and all that stuff, it is used. Secondly, it is used in the quality space to ensure the SOPs are being followed. And lastly is the space where it is humanly impossible for somebody to just keep looking at the camera feeds and all. Fatigue comes in. That's where we replace with that. So it's more of a complementing service. We don't call ourselves as a replacement of a human, but rather complementing and reutilizing of the human resources.
So basically your IP is the computer vision technology that you have gotten in through AI?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And what I'm understanding is that you're basically, it's a B2B company, right?
Yes.
Right now. So what are the kind of revenues like that you have, and who can you just name a few of your clients?
That's a good question. We all hesitate to tell, but anyway, we have been pivoting in the last year, so it's still in early stages. We are under 500K odd as of now. So from a clientele base, few clients we can tell, like TVS is there, Maruti is there, defense organizations are there. But some of them are in NDA because we do deal with a lot of sensitive data. So that's the.
And how old is the company? This is like your fourth venture, fifth venture, or what is it?
No, yeah, that's multiple. This is we started about two and a half years back, but we took a conscious decision to do a lot of R&D because it's a very new space. Computer vision as such is very new space. We have collaboration with IISc Bangalore. We have collaboration with IIIT Hyderabad because, as I said, we realized it very early on, if it has to become effective, the cost of implementation has to be low. So adaptability is there. So we worked heavily in terms of optimizing this model, what we call as an edge device, to be working on that. Yes.
So I think one thing just becoming very clear to me when you talk about artificial intelligence is this entire investment in technology, which could be very, very expensive, right? Like if you compare it to like a D2C company, perhaps bulk of their expenses would go to consumer brand marketing. So how are the conversations with the investors when you tell them that the bulk of the money will go into product, technology? How open are these conversations? Like maybe in your case, you had to sort of bring the cost down with NVIDIA. You think there is kind of acceptance from investors? What are the unique challenges that you face?
So as of now, we are self-funded, but we will shortly be going. See, every fund has its own mandate in terms of what they are looking at. And the funds that we would have to look at who are very research-oriented and are ready to take the big risk. Especially in our space, it's a big risk area because we cannot guarantee a result as a result at the end of the day, though objective is that only. So it depends upon the fund's mandate. But yeah, as it is a struggle. Now how does, let's say a fund has a mandate to invest in AI related companies, how do they trust us? Ki you are going to derive, because today, anybody can go to Google, type a algo, download it and say, hey, I am able to do data analytics. I have this expertise. So you have to really distinguish from those downloads versus you're building your models and then going there. So it is a journey that everybody, I think, would have gone differently across that.
Okay, what about you? Your conversation with investors, do they really understand technology, what you're building, you feel?
So I think the main thing is the funding winter was there. The sector which we are working, a lot of big players have not able to crack anything major over there. If you see the part of the what you called as a small retail tech, generally most of the people think the retail tech, and AI is a new phenomena. So what we have done it, we have actually able to bring down the cost of implementation drastically. It's just a couple of lakh rupees. And our models are also much lighter. So thanks to, I think, the great minds which we have it with us, some of the interns from the best of the colleges and some of the scientists from IISc Bangalore, they've already done a lot of work. What we are doing, we are adapting that and making it more affordable. And the way we are able to do that is basically one of the biggest costs is the manpower initially which you need to put in. So when you need a needle, then everyone is building bazooka because they want to have a generic systems. We are building only needle for the case. Just to give example to you, if there is a flower shop, they will be talking only about flowers. And they will be also talking about whatever they have use cases. So I should train my model only on that, which is 100 or 1,000 times lesser than the normal data which I'll be training. And that way we will able to reduce the cost of running AI. And we are building an N layer of architecture, as you were saying, on edge. We are thinking of running on the device where there is no GPU, CPU cost for us. So that way we will be able to make affordable. Just to give example to you, I don't know how many of you know, the calling rate outbound calling in 1995 was 16 rupees per minute. And that is equivalent of approximately 500 rupees today if we take the 30 years, whatever the value of the money and all. So would you pay 1,000 rupees for outgoing call today? No.
WhatsApp.
No, I'm saying any call. Yeah. It doesn't matter. So data used to be, just to give a data rates, we used to pay 1,200 rupees for some 1 MB or 2 MB data in 1995. I don't know how many of you have used that. I used to dial a ISD call and then only connect it through, and we used to get 14 kbps as a highest speed. So, yeah, modem, sir. So the cost of AI can be bring down if you are focusing your energy only on a certain use cases and also making it horizontal partitioning and a vertical partitioning. So one example of horizontal partitioning which I given you. Horizontal vertical partitioning is like if we are supporting, let's say, Indian languages right now, and we are supporting 500 dialects of the Indian languages. Now you must be speaking Hindi and English because you are from Delhi. You may not worried about Kannada, Tamil, Telugu. So when you are speaking, the model should be trained only for those 2-3 languages which you speak, rather than all the generic languages which are there. So this way, we are able to reduce the cost of AI, 2 costs of the AI. One is the operational part, which is one of the highest. Second is the skilling. So what we have done we have taken the models from the various institutes, learned the best of the things they have done it in the subparts, and then optimize that for our use cases. So it is running 70% faster. Well, if they take 100 CPU cycle, then we take only 30 in our thing. And the next layer where we are going we are putting in the edge or in the device, which will make it 0. So that's the thing is,
that's your USP. That's what you're working towards.
No, that's the way the technology will go, because the call has come down, data has come down, even the cost of IT has come down. Earlier we used to buy our servers for 1 lakh rupees and then install things and all. Today you can, in 5,000 rupees AWS server, you can spin it off and then you can auto scale it and as and when you want to do it. So the cost will come down, and that's the way things are. So we are able to do this with the horizontal partitioning and the vertical partitioning of the AI models, which we are able to do it.
Interesting, very interesting. Saurabh, I would like to sort of come to you about how you are building your business. How big can it become? Is it like the mindset of sort of growing this and then selling it to like a large company? I mean, what is the mindset with which you are building this?
See, depends on the entrepreneur. For me, I'm being very passionate about the problem which I'm addressing. So as long as I think I can solve the problem my way, like the way I see it, the way I consume it and process it and deliver it to my customer, I will want the control with me and not go for an acquisition or something like this. Even if we have denied acquisition from Facebook 3 years back, which came from Mighty Capital itself, because we were early stage. It was an early bid because we were not even aware of what could be, the possibilities of what we are creating. Because for them it was a gold win, because they could have the digital and financial intelligence of the consumer along with their intelligence being merged to it. Okay, but for us, we see it differently. It should be decentralized. There should be a privacy control from the user perspective itself, and no single organization should have a control on that particular data altogether. So for me, as long as I'm able to solve the problem in the most righteous manner, I would not go for that thing. How we are scaling it? See, for any product market fit, you have to sit closer to the customer, keep iterating based on to how deeper you can address that particular thing, and that is something which we do it even today as well, where we just have a very hands-on conversation with the customer, tell them that okay, this is solved, what is next, while using what all kind of challenges you are facing and everything else, and what you are expecting from the platform or the infrastructure layer.
But like saying no to Facebook 3 years back, early stage of your company,
Yes.
I mean, would have been like, it's a big decision, right?
See, point is, don't first of all assume that it would have been a WhatsApp kind of a deal. See, point is, it's about the problem statement. If I have had my exits in past, which was in couple of $1 million, so I have, kind of assumed or tasted that part of the comfort of having money. But having money, it does not give you a peace if you are a founder who wants to keep building. If you are being passionate about solving problems, it does not give you a peace of mind itself. Money can always give you or bring a comfort to your life, but your inner self or your real persona, if it is around creating something, if it's around doing something more or bringing values, then you have to be, keep getting into that same loop again and again. So that was the entire mindset, that let's say we would have exited 3 years back. First of all, the scale, right now we have able to solve the problem for more than 528 million people, which is like 4th largest network in India. Okay, and we wouldn't have reached that scale. When Facebook and other people reached out to us, we were just 32 million users strong. So that is a kind of a
You're driven by impact rather
Yes.
than just a cash out.
Yes,
Yeah.
because in a cash out, founders make the money. And after a certain stage, you don't need money. You need value creation. You need impact. You need more from yourself as well as to what you are doing for the ecosystem. That matters most.
Okay, I would like to sort of come on this panel and talk about this entire artificial intelligence, which has really become the buzzword, and especially after Satya Nadella saying this, that this is the golden age of AI. And the VCs have the tendency to basically go after the buzzwords, right? They have the tendency to go after what is hot in the market. 3 years back, it was metaverse. Before that, it was blockchain. Because it is also very self-serving for them, right? Because internet kind of has peaked for them, right? I mean, they have to find new avenues within the internet and the tech domain to basically fund new theses. And they themselves will say, metaverse is hot right now, so let's fund metaverse. But my question is that a VC or a PE guy, at the heart of it, is a financial engineer, right? He's a financial engineer. Do they have the expertise or the wherewithal or the understanding of the AI space to invest into AI? Do you guys find that the person sitting across the table really understands what you are building? Or is it just going after the hype, okay, you have so many clients, you got a call from Facebook, I'll put in the check?
So let me start with this point. So first of all, so when we talk about the VC world, obviously they are being more fascinated about what is there in the trend. So many VCs try to stick to the trend. Many of them, which have a deeper thesis, they do not go with the trend, because they know more passionate people will attract more competition, and the business would not be able to shape the way it should be. So many VCs have a very deep thesis that if someone is talking Gen AI should be cut down from the list itself, because it will tend to become a very overcrowded space where if they invest, it may not scale because there's too many players in that part of the market. Now, how a VC learns? It's very simple. If you listen to 200 pitches from 200 different founders, that's their, or from whatever the peers they have or the close network they have. So their learning sources is not, they go and read books around AI or something. It's all what they get to hear from the peers. So that is something how most of the VC, or even as a general human, we tend to learn if we do not want to deep dive into the subject. So that is one aspect of it. The important part of it, how they treat it, how they understand any of the startup, is that they start putting comparison as a matrix. So so I would let's say I would talk to a VC. He would say, after listening the pitch, do you know this company? And how you're different from this company. So he is doing research for himself while asking you questions. So that's a common thing which I've seen with most of the VC. They are very, very founder-led VCs funds, founder-led VC funds, which have a very deep subject knowledge. And reaching out to them, you have to have been very thorough with your product, with your product market fit and everything, because they can right away reject you because they understand and know more than what you really doing at present.
Great.
So
what has been your experience?
Yeah, so I think I agree with him. Just to give example, one of my batchmate was with the Google, and he did entire product development on AI for 5-10 years, and then he joined a VC. So VCs do have a subject matter expertise to do that, like there's no doubt about it. But it depends which stage you are going, because what happens, AI, I know 500 plus companies which closed down in last 1 year who did a lot of things on AI, because everyone is trying to do, this is the buzzword, so do it. And everyone wants to do it, and that's a good thing because more people try it and then more innovation comes in. But the VC world doesn't understand unless there's a business use case. And generally, the business use case is a copy-paste of the Western world. So that's the one which they understand. The second thing which they understand very well is like the use cases which they can relate to. Or most of the time, if they have already burned their finger, like what tech is going through right now, education tech, I think everyone is more cautious about education tech now. So that's the same thing will happen, because the space which we are in, a lot of people have invested and not made anything big over there. So over there also, people are very cautious about it. But when we talk about AI and then particular thing, then for me now AI will be de facto. Like IT is, you will have AI. So according to me. Now there are 3 layers of AI which will be there. A lower core level where people working at the very, very lower, making models. Then there will be people who would be writing a wrapper around and selling it, and there will be a users of AI. So even a developer is using ChatGPT and he's writing a code, and then after that he needs to learn what is written in the code. Unless he doesn't understand, then he will not able to make use of AI.
Very interesting. So that's
the
lower
thing.
level, then the middle is a wrapper. What is the top layer?
Is the application, which people will be applying it and using in the business case. So you will see a lot of use cases coming on the application layer, where India will be flourishing it, and the middle layer. The lower level, it's still where we have to mature it, because we are mostly relying on the research which is done in the Western world for 10 to 20 years. So it's where whatever he has done it in last 3 years is phenomenal, because very few companies might have done that.
Okay. You mentioned a very interesting point about EdTech, that Srija EdTech has kind of died its own death right now. Because
Not dying, it is a cycle. It happens.
We saw a huge spike in COVID, and the point I was mentioning in my intro remarks that there are three kinds of entrepreneurs: the opportunist, the enthusiast, and the illusionist. Is AI another illusion, which metaverse was? Is it the biggest fad that we have right now? I'm seeing companies and entrepreneurs putting in their pitches .ai just to get the VC attention. So is it the other big fad?
I can say yes and no both. The reason is, when thousands of the people are there, as you categorize, there will be people doing that. But AI, as far as I understand, is a simple other computer science problem, which needs to be implemented the same way we used to do earlier legacy system, then we did a what you call .com world. So even if you see, e-commerce was a big failure in 2000. I'm not sure how many of you know Reddit shopping, time shopping, and so many shopping .com burst was there.
India Plaza.
So many of them were there. So it doesn't mean that e-commerce will not happen. In 2010, 11, we have Flipkarts to everyone, which is flourishing. So I feel the AI will also have its own cycle, and I believe next 5 years is for the AI. The reason is the majority of hard work is done. Now people will be reaping the benefit of that, because it's not new concept, as he's saying that. The AI was there. Now Gen AI or some other things are just a more advancement which is done, and now we have enough data and enough computing power to process that and use it. You could not think of talking to your phone and getting things done, maybe 5 years back. But today you can think of, because you're already using VX, what you call Alexa or Siri and all. And next, which will be there, is UX plus VX, what he's saying, where a video is automatically capturing, and he feels that something fishy is going on, it will get the alert. So the person doesn't need to constantly monitor it. So that's kind of thing. So AI, definitely 60-70% will be trashing, or whatever I call cleaning needs to be done as far as the number of people who are there. And they will they die out because of the use cases of business implementation is not there. As we heard in the previous panel, unless people moving towards profitability, now nobody is making investment. So I think VC world understand that, and we believe, I also believe, that this is not a fad, but it's a very, very required thing which everyone will be using it. We will be not talking about AI, maybe like the IT, we don't talk it. Otherwise, IT or in 2002 was a big thing, or e-commerce was a big thing in 2000, not 2002, 2000. So that way.
So basically your point is that AI will become the horizontal technology. It's a horizontal technology. It is not something which is like a blockchain or crypto. It is the new internet.
It will be just another technology, like phone is another technology other than laptop. So similarly, AI is another technology over the intelligence thing which earlier used to be there. Earlier, simple intelligence tool used to be there. Now more intelligence tool will be there.
I want to come to you now, that if you had to give advice to a VC fund on how to decipher between a real AI company and an AI company just only faffing, what are the key parameters he or she should look at?
I don't know whether I can advise a VC company or not, but most of the VC investment goes in terms of perception and versus reality, and they see a lot of checks being cut for somebody, and then they're also in the same rat race, or they're also in the money-making race, and it's like smaller fish bigger fish catching the bigger and the bigger and the bigger and all. But being that said, all these funds do have very smart individuals. When I say very smart individual, accomplished and who have gone through the entire cycle of entrepreneurship and all that stuff. And if you really choose the right VC and all that stuff, it can be a very contributing apart from just cutting the check. So there are two aspects to it. So definitely, if I have to, I don't think I'm in a position to advise them, rather take advisement from them. But they do have the wherewithals today to see which company survives and which company does not survive, and where to invest, where not to invest. And it's an investment, so definitely there will be some downside of it. There will be a lot of upside of it also.
I think all of you spoke about the opportunity set that you are seeing in respective areas. Like you beautifully outlined that there are 3 layers to AI, the lower layer, the middle layer, the top layer, and how you are targeting this very low-end, frugal sort of market which nobody wants to attack. But you are very confident of, say, building a billion-dollar business. Can I say that?
Why not trillion?
Wow, see, exactly, that is the opportunity.
Okay. So just to say this, but yeah. So when entrepreneurs like me, just to give a background about me, so my grandfather came from Delhi, from Lahore, and as a refugee, he used to go house to house and sell frozen vegetable, and I did that. So from earning a 1 rupee a day, kind of when you stand on the road and then earn approximately that much, to come to talk about a billion or $1 trillion, it's a difficult journey for at least a person like me. I still think before buying a device. I'm using a 4-year-old device and I'm happy with that till the time it is working. Maybe most of us will replace in 2 or 3 years' time. So it's my personal thing. But main, if you see it, what personally I believe is like it is definitely possible when you're going and productizing it. Airtel would have not been possible, or Jio, what Jio has done for data, or Arcom did for that. If they would have not thought of 10 rupees outgoing calling, when people are talking about 16 rupees outgoing calling, we would have not seen the entire telecom happening. The entire, even AI would have not been thought, because the kind of data we are generating from a device is because of the telecom. So I believe that if you are trying to solve a larger problem, then you have to make it affordable. And to make it affordable, it's a journey. Initially, you will be making millions. So for example, for us also, for sustainability, now we are also talking to a very big enterprise who wants to have a use cases like, I can speak in Kannada, you can speak in Hindi. So you, in a call center, you can call me and I will answer in Kannada, you will hear it back in Hindi, and your whatever talking in Hindi, I will be hearing in Kannada. So this way, the same model which we developed can be reused at a lot of other places where we are keeping the cost of running AI much, much lower, because everyone is doing a POC, we can productize it.
So basically you're saying that it's a huge market, larger problem, and you're confident of building a $1 trillion business. You can.
I'm just saying it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
I come to you now, Saurabh. All of you spoke about the ups. Like you said, Shrija, I'm $29 million revenues. I've said no to Facebook.
Are these ups?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, you said that I can't disclose a revenue number. Let's talk about the downs a little. Key challenges, and it's like deep technology that we're dealing with. There are people challenges, understanding of the problem challenges. I remember a conversation with a VC, and we were talking about blockchain, and he was saying, blockchain to bahut acha hai, Shrija, but what problem are they solving? The problem is, use case is not there. AI is great, but the question is that, do we really need AI? I mean, is my life, what will change in my life if I don't have AI? I'm just asking from a more generative AI perspective. Maybe I'll still be $10 billion. With AI, I could be like a 20 billion. Is the delta just that much, or is it a delta of going from 1 billion to 1 trillion with AI?
So we have to understand first thing. At the end, it's the problem statement which persists. If you're able to address the problem statement with any set of righteous tools, and now I said AI, blockchain, any other deep tech technology are become the righteous tool to do that. They are not gonna create any value to you as an individual unless and until it is not addressing your day-to-day challenges. So it's if you would say when you say humanoid would come and do XYZ task for you, they might overcomplicate your life rather than solving for it. Unless and until there's a very specific problem statement. Let's say in India, so because a lot of our models are being copy pasted from the Western world. India, I don't think, so I have spent more than 16 years into AI world, starting from 2008 itself. So I can say India does not need AI. India needs AI as a tool which could kind of have a hybrid model on solving certain monotonous tasks, which could add value for the people to think bigger, to go deeper into problem statement, and to think beyond of what they are doing at present. So it can always be taken up as a assistive journey with consumer. Organizations like Meta, Microsoft, to IBM, to all of these organizations, they're always focused on providing it as a assistive tool itself, and not that we're going to replace humans for it. Your task force will be zero after implementing this particular thing. The rate unemployment in this country is increasing. Do we really want to make it worse as a situation? Because if 100 people take doing a certain job, and now with adding a certain tool which can replace all the 100 people, then that technology is not for that particular country. So in this particular case, I would say it's always going to be an assistive tech. It's always going to be a tool. How we going to use it? How we going to use that tool? Whether it may be solving for the middleware, whether it may be solving for at the infrastructure level itself, whether it may be at the application level itself. So the point is, that is something which we have to define as an individual or as a thought leaders in that particular space itself. Second important aspect, whether it's gonna be that new next generation companies are going to be AI companies who's gonna be $1 trillion or $100 billion? No.
No.
No. The answer is no, unless and until they are not addressing the right problem. When we talk about any enterprise tech, let's say I'll give you the biggest example. The global organization like Big Four, Accenture, IBM, they are doing not more than $150 million of business, even after kind of swapping all their customers base of more than 90,000, 40,000 and all that stuff. This is the numbers which you can always read on internet and everything else. And since we work with enterprise a lot, enterprise wants to solve only a certain set of problem statement while implementing these tools, so that they can remove all the inefficiency in the processes, can make the journey, whether for themselves or their customer, more seamless and having a connected behavior mapping across all the touch points. These are the 3-4 different points itself which they are addressing. Whether this alone can actually become $1 trillion or $100 billion, no. So anything which we are going to solve or address on an infrastructure layer, that can be a scalable business. That could actually be $1 trillion. In terms of when we talk about OpenAI and all that organization, they are not solving at the application level. They are solving at the LLMs level, like the infrastructure level. They are making the world where the entire data can talk to each other, and that's what they are going to the processors, second degree data processors, to a lot of the large organizations, where they become the, by default, the data intelligence platform, where any of the new generation tool can be built on top of it. One part of it is just LLM. Next, what is going to be coming from OpenAI is going to be surprise for all of you guys. So point is, anything which is at the infrastructure level is going to be more scalable.
Thanks for beautifully sort of laying that out, that every AI company, sort of unicorn out there, you have to understand what is the hype from the reality. So there are 3 layers. Otherwise, one is the infrastructure, one is the service, and the third is the application, right? And the biggest money is in the infrastructure, which I think is a space completely taken by big tech. There's no juice left there. So if AI were a country, there's a country which is an AI country, the pipes, the roads, the railways are set up by Facebook, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. They have taken the infrastructure. So the VCs are basically the people who are saying that we can't even compete with big tech. So that space is taken. So the VCs will say, we will build houses on those roads. And what are those houses made of? So those houses are basically what you are doing, computer vision. One house is yours. You are basically saying that I will build maybe not a house but a city, which will cater to a lot of thela walas and everything. What you are saying that I will cater to companies built on that infrastructure, and you are saying that I will cater to companies have been built. He has built the houses. I'll provide a service to those companies and houses, right? So there are 3 layers, and which is the so. Is there any juice left for VCs? So where do VCs come in? Like, and the reason I'm asking this here because AI, paisa lalna AI mein is like next unicorn. But what is left for them? I want to understand that. Is it only like $1 million to $1 billion opportunity left now within the AI space? Because if the infrastructure is taken, the pipe is taken, the railroad is taken, the houses are being built by say 5 to 10 large companies in India. There is telecom, there's Reliance Jio, which will come into AI and all of that. Then there are some tech upstarts. So is it like really that juicy what VCs are capitalizing on is the question I'm asking.
So, see, point is, first of all, India at present, active VCs are not that big who can take $1 billion bet on a, so SoftBank exits a lot of things, then Tencent, then a lot of other big VCs who can actually make maybe a problem statement, they understand the problem statement, connect with it and understand that this founder can actually solve like a big tech company. Most of the VCs from India have already exited. Okay, and now what we are looking at a VC which would be somewhere, which could come with a, let's say a $5 to $50 million checks. These are not gonna really look for a deeper problem solving unless and until they're part of the big houses. Like, so let's say Sequoia. Their roots does not limit you to India itself, or Peak 15 is not limited to India. There's a larger group to it. There's a $8 billion fund and the similar level are being there. So the point is, VCs, when they look India market, they look it as an independent market of what can be the possible use cases, what can be the possible problem statement which can get addressed while they invest in any of those set of companies itself. And AI become a default in a lot of these things. Again, they are more focused around the problem statement. They are not focused if you are using AI or not. AI become default for bringing that efficiency in order to go for a scale. So that is something even VCs are smart enough now to kind of take those kind of a bets only.
Okay, now it's time for some rapid fire. We had like a conversation about AI, the hype versus the reality. Is there some juice left or not? What each one of you are building, how you are scaling it up, what really are expansion plans. And I think all of you on this panel are fundraising. You are fundraising, you are fundraising, you are fundraising. He anyways got bought by a large company, so he's out of that. Okay, I want to ask you that, suppose if you were to go back in time, one advice which you wish you had in your 20s.
Back to the Future is a good movie, so somebody would have told me Yahoo would be good, or but again, if you look at when Back to the Future next came, Yahoo it doesn't exist. So I think any advice is only good at that particular in time. The advancement in technology, whatever you're seeing, just to little bit differ, as you said, there is no juice left. I think nobody even has tasted the juice yet. We are very in a very initial stages. The infrastructure is also at a very initial stage. It's just the discovery process and the risk-taking ability that has to happen. It is just starting. So OpenAI is a good example where somebody now says that it's good to take $1 billion bet day one. So that would happen. So I think all advisements, whatever we have, it's only good for today and tomorrow. Nothing. I think if I have to go back and says, yeah, probably whichever stock you pick it up, saying that should exist. IBM used to be a company that everybody would take, but nobody takes IBM for that. But again, now they have jumped into another into quantum realm. So anyway. So that's the answer.
Okay, thank you. I want to come to you, and it's incredible, like the way you started and saying that, Shrija, I mean, like from selling vegetables and fruits, like with your father, and now really talking about this opportunity that, okay, you have that guts and gumption and the strength to say that, yes, I can build a very large company. So what really kept you going? If I were to ask, like in your down times, what did you tell yourself that, no, I can do it?
Okay, so I've been working in a corporate for 25 years, and this is my, in a way, second entrepreneurial journey so I tried the same thing in 2016 because I always wanted to do something for the same segment of people. So I built a smaller billing system, and I realized there was no device, no connectivity, no digital payment. So for me, the motive is not to make a $1 billion or $1 trillion economy. So for me, like he's saying, is for the impact. Whether I can make an impact in 1,000 people, 1 lakh people, or 1 crore people, that's the differences. In the world, there are 200 million nano businesses out there. And that's the big opportunity we see as a technology. Like what Zoho did for the mid segment can be done by some. And that's what driving us. Can we build that? And the tough time, I have just started this journey where I first time did it and then I started researching more about it. And last 2.5 years I'm doing, and I've seen the funding winter. And after working as a head of technology for companies like India Mart or Hindustan Times, where you have seen the large IT budget management and all those things. Now you are thinking of how can I build a tech in few lakh rupees. So now it's a different ball game altogether as a founder. So what kept me going is 2 things, and I'll give an analogy to you. 2005 or 4, I used to say, this palm-wash device and all are useless. It's not required. It's a waste of money. People are doing it. And then I went for one conference. And then I went for a conference and I interacted with 4 people. And my mind has changed. And that point of time I said, at least 50% of people in 10 years to 20 years will be having a hand-delivered device like this. And the reason for that was that you just try to see what happens in the past and then try to do the things. So for me, how to solve a problem for that? So Uber is a very simple algorithm. It's just small code which is written and doing things. WhatsApp is a very small thing. And why they are $1 billion? It's not because they are tech. Tech is hardly 5% or maybe 1% of that entire thing is. Today, the entire thing is on data. So Uber is riding on a data, WhatsApp is riding on a data. The amount of data we as a country generating, today it is going away to the big 5s. But I don't think so that will remain the same way in next 5 years. My strong gut is, in 5 years, those big 5 will be replaced by other 5s which are homegrown. And that's already kind of small, at a small scale happening it, and it will happen in the big scale. Second thing which is keep me going, and one was that this transition will happen, is like all tech have to come to the larger part of the pyramid to be profitable. Airtel was not profitable till the time it was only for the 2%, 3% people. Jio became billion or trillion dollar, billion or billions of the valuation because it was touching the large number of people which are included in the data by them. So I also believe that technology, once it's given to the nano businesses, and the voice is the future, where UX plus VX. Alexa is only a VX, your phone is only a UX. When you combine these two, that's where the larger part of the pyramid will be able to understand it. And that's where the future is. We will not interact with the phone the same way. A lady doesn't want to open an app and then say this. She just want to say, iron wale ko kapde dene hain, sabji wale ko ye order de do, ye khatam ho gaya hai. And rather not him, maybe your maid will say कि madam ये खत्म हो गया in the phone, and that will automatically come to you as an order, and you say okay, approve it. So that's what I see next 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
And that was not possible if AI is not implemented.
Okay, great. I come to you now, Saurabh. I think very long answers for rapid fires that you're getting.
Sorry.
It's okay. If you were to name the most overrated technology or entrepreneur in AI, what would that be? Like somebody who's got a lot of hype.
So obviously cannot call out entrepreneur's name, but if you would see overrated, metaverse.
Metaverse. Okay. What about you? In terms of the biggest challenge that you are facing, like building out SmartBot?
Yeah, sure. So as we have already discussed that there is definitely so much of limitations when we see AI on an infrastructure level. So India is having a significant gap when we are talking about computational resources. So we don't have that much of computational resources when we are comparing ourselves with other countries like India, US and China. So we have to definitely get the GPUs running. So we will definitely need support from the government side also. So already they are investing in these kind of data centers and all. So definitely, but at this point of time, we are not at the adequate level that we have to, like if we are competing with US, China and other countries, then definitely we need much more resources, computing resources, so that, because it is very essential for AI to build upon that. Otherwise, advanced AI application can't be utilized or created without computing resources. So just for example, like the model that has been released by OpenAI, like GPT-4, it only costs $100 million just for training itself. So that kind of costing and pricing we are seeing when we are trying to develop and implement models like that. So as we don't have that much, and the thing is that we have definitely clouds and all, but it's not sustainable, right? It's too costly. So we are trying to, like, when we are trying to train the model and all, we have to definitely check for the costing and all that we will be getting from the cloud services and all. So that is one of the bottleneck while creating any LLM or model that can be built for our own use case, for some specific use case or any sector or any anything that your client needs. So those kind of things are not possible because of the inadequate infrastructure point of view.
Thank you. I will just come to you. You said you don't agree with me that there's no juice left. So if you were to give me like a short answer on the future potential of artificial intelligence, like crystal ball gazing, next 5 years, how would the scenario look like? What could be your short answer?
See, those who are not using AI or general public and all before ChatGPT was released, we had started using them almost 2-3 years back. Step forward, things will change drastically once quantum computing comes. Whatever we are talking it will become totally immaterial. So you're not talking saying that I need GPUs, I need to process so much of data and all. That computational power is going to go 1,000 times and 10,000 times. So what we are talking, you don't even blink and it happens. So we are not even ready for that. So that's why there's a huge amount of juice and huge amount of tech. So how the evolution has happened, that evolution will continue to happen as long as we human beings are intelligent.
Amazing, interesting. Okay, anybody, like, we have such an intellectually stimulating panel, and what a fab panel on AI. I mean, I learned so much from each one of you. We can just take one question. Yes, you had a question. Yeah.
My question is to Mr. Harish Chandra. I always wonder the vending machines or self-serve outlets are really an awful thing. But why people are not adapting? Japan is adapting them very well. Why the other part of world, not might be India, is not adopting them? And one more question. PhonePe, Google Pay revolutionized street vendor payments. and it's adaptable solution because there is no edge device from part of vendor. The payee only pays with his own device, who is a tech savvy. So how you are going to offer your solution in such an adaptable way
Okay.
without any edge competing?
Yeah, so just to tell you, the entire vending machine is more of a, in Japan you don't have a places available and people cost is way too high to put as a thing. And you can make a person stand in your store for 10,000 rupees in India. So, and we are as a society more interactive in nature. So that's the reason one, that's why not. Now, when we are talking about the technology adoption in the larger mass, it will happen. The UPI is a classical example for that. The device is there. Only thing is device change from the user, which was used to doesn't have a UI device, it shifted to the user. So it used to be earlier with the vendor, the device, whatever is swiping machine or tapping machine. Now it is changed to this. So same way, a device may be there, which is basically the something like this or maybe a watch kind of thing, and they will speak to that and that automatically does the billing. Now, definitely that will be adopted. The reason is they are not changing their behavior. So if you come to me and I'm a small seller, I am totaling everything, 2 kg tomato, and then giving you. And then what is the next thing? You bargain also. So that bargaining also should be taken care in the billing. So all this, but I know that you are the one. Now I can say, I should be able to find it out, that this sir has not came from last 4 days. So I should reach out to him. So this is the intelligence would have not been possible unless we apply AI, which is a simple voice interactive, but in addition to voice interactiveness, you are also providing intelligence to do a lot of things on the back end, which is nothing automation as he's saying. A larger enterprise will be doing a large number of automation. In here, we are doing a very simple automation. So if you see Uber is doing nothing but a very simple automation, finding a ride and that's all, with a simple API. So same way, a simple tech replicated for 1 million people will be scalable. And now there is a AI will be there.
Great. So I think we just like
A huge round of applause for this answer, guys. Thank you, everybody. I would like to thank everyone in this panel. This was a very nice discussion about AI. Now I would like to call on stage Mr. Ugyankar to felicitate our speakers. Huge round of applause, guys, for them. Mr. Ugyankar Rangarajan is partner at KCO. So a huge round of applause for him, guys. Thank you so much, Ugyankar.